Back here on the halftime show, as we're now joined by Saint Vincent graduate student men's basketball player Mike Iuzzolino. Mike, first off, thanks so much for joining us today. Certainly have a very talented group and definitely the group that can make a big run. But I want to start at the beginning, what led you to Saint Vincent and going back to the first school you started at in Bryant University, the lone year you were there, a good one, winning the NEC title. I got to ask what that was like for you, but also what did that teach you, and how much did you learn about what it takes to win at a level like that?
It was definitely a learning experience for sure. I was a freshman coming in. I was a COVID year, so everybody got their year back, so I didn't play too much. But I got the experience. I played behind the leading scorer in the country, Peter Kiss, and it kind of showed me a lot of how to play the game the right way. Those guys, they were so good, and every single day they were in the gym, and it showed me that it doesn't just take just straight talent and then getting to that level. Continuously have to keep working, keep working, keep working. So seeing those guys keep working, and then on top of it with the coaching from Grasso and Coach Martelli, who's now at VCU, led us to a championship, and it's just an unreal experience. It's something that you dream about as a kid. Stepping on the floor in the NCAA tournament was just a dream come true.
Well, you take that experience and you make your way over to St. Vincent. What was it like being in the transfer portal, but also what drew you ultimately to St. Vincent?
Honestly, I didn't know if I was going to play basketball again after Brian. I didn't know. And Coach Harris called me up, and we met, and eventually, I ended up coming. I was like, oh, he's like, come here, and I wanted to be an engineer. So I was like, oh, I don't know if basketball is going to be something I want to do, and he said, "Hey, you guys, we have engineering here. I know you want to be an engineer." So I was like, "Okay, I'll go for it." So I came to be an engineer, and then on top of it, get to play basketball. And I'd say I've had a pretty decent career so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely say a little bit more than decent for sure. And good on Coach Harris for being able to sway you. I'm sure also your dad having experience coaching with Coach Harris probably also had a little bit to do with that. But I'm sure your dad, being the player that he was in the NBA and college, he's been a big influence in your life and in your career. What has he taught you about the game of basketball, not only playing wise, but also cerebrally, as the IQ and being able to see the game at an intelligent level?
I mean, my dad is a basketball junkie. He is basketball through and through. That's all he cares about. I'd say it's not so much the IQ that he's ever taught me. It's more of the life lessons that you learn from basketball. Basketball it only goes on for so long. The ball stops bouncing at some point. Maybe after college I stopped playing. And like most kids, and some kids it's after high school. But what he taught me is that, the game humbles you. And you got to really respect the game. And it's at the end of the day, it's about how much are you going to give, and how much are you going to give, like 100% in everything that you do, and are you going to get anything out of it? And if you can give 100% and you don't get anything out of it, like you said, I tried as hard as I could. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Like you knew you gave everything you did.
I know your dad is still very active in basketball, being a head coach. Do you see yourself ever doing coaching? I know you said you want to be an engineer, but you ever see yourself doing that a little bit too?
I do. I'd like to coach. I think as my 4 years here kind of came to a close, I sit here and regret. I shouldn't say regret. That's the wrong word. I wonder why I put myself through all the engineering courses that I did if I'm going to end up being a basketball coach. I've taken every math class that I possibly can take, and then I'm going to end up coaching somewhere or something. But I definitely want to give back after playing for sure.
Hey man, analytics, it's taken off and it's in sports. So the math and sports, I think you can blend the two. But I have to ask, I gotta ask, who's winning one-on-one, you or your dad? I gotta know who's winning on these days.
Right now, me. Oh man, there's some days where I wasn't having it, like working out. I work out every single day with him, and he was like, you know what? Let's go. And he just put his shoes on, and you just see him getting warmed up. And I was like, uh-oh. And there's time, once he hits one, he's still to this day, he doesn't miss. He literally does not miss.
Yeah. Well, do you remember what age you were when you first officially beat him one-on-one?
I was probably about, I'd say maybe 16.
Okay.
Maybe 16. Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's awesome. Well, I know that he's obviously, like you said, been a big influence in your life in basketball and off of the court as well. But Mike, it's been great to get to know you a little bit, hear about your story. Before we let you run, want to know from you, we talked about how this is a really talented team you guys have in Latrobe. What do you think it'll take to ultimately make a run at a title and push for a PAC championship?
You just got to play together, play the right way. We got to keep the ball moving. We have way too much talent. We have everybody on the floor can give you 10, 15, 20 a night. So I think on top of, moving the basketball, but and playing the right way, we all got to know our roles. What are we really good at? And coming through high school and being recruited, one thing that a lot of people have always told me, and my dad has always told me, do what you're really good at and you always stand out. So, and for me, I think, shooting is a very strong suit of mine. And if I can do that to the best of my ability, maybe I can help us in a way.
Well, I'll definitely have the group to stand out this year in the PAC, and excited to see how the rest of the season plays out for you and the Bearcats. Again, Mike, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's St. Vincent men's basketball grad student Mike Iuzzolino. Stick with us. We'll have the second half of today's game coming up next on the PAC Sports Network.